If you only have $50 and you want to start day trading, do not open a brokerage account. That's the mistake almost everyone makes, and the reason why most traders stay stuck for years. Because the moment you start risking your own money, you're already playing the game wrong. And I know because I've done that too. Blowing accounts, starting over, chasing the next magic strategy and hoping that's the one. But unfortunately, the result was deep red P&L day after day. So if I had to start over today from absolute zero, no capital, no account, nothing, I wouldn't deposit any money to any brokerage account and I wouldn't trade my own account at all. Instead, I would use that $50 to position myself for a six-figure funded account. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. I'm going to give you the blueprint our community members are using to pass evaluations and get payouts week after week. And I'm also going to share with you the tools I would use, the markets I would focus on, and the one rule that changes everything. But before we get into that, I want you to understand something most traders never realize. Your $500 is your biggest liability. The moment you start risking your own money, everything changes. You hesitate, you second guess, you cut winners early, and you hold on to losers way too long. And it's not because you lack discipline, it's because you're emotionally attached. And this is where prop firms totally change the game. But unfortunately, most traders treat them like a shortcut or a way to gamble bigger. In reality, it's actually the exact opposite. A prop firm isn't an ATM. It's a system designed to expose your behavior. And traders who win big with this aren't those who are smarter or have better strategies. They just stop fighting the system and simplifying everything. And that brings us to our step one of our blueprint. So if I started over today, I would follow one rule, which is the rule of one. One strategy, one setup, and one market, either ES or NQ. That's it. No jumping to Forex, no crypto, no distractions. Because mastery doesn't come from doing more. It comes from seeing the same setup over and over again until it becomes automatic. And here's where most traders sabotage themselves again. Trading the wrong time frames. They sit on the 1-minute chart thinking more trades equals more money. But in reality, the 1-minute chart is extremely choppy and random. And in this case, more trades means actually more losses. So my blueprint is simple. I use the 1-hour chart to map out my zones and the 15-minute chart for entries. That's it. No noise, no overthinking, just clarity. But even with this clarity, nothing would work if you don't know the exact moment to enter. And once you see it, you will never look at the 1-minute chart the same way again. Let me show you what I mean. So this right here is the ES futures and the 1-hour chart. And what I like doing first is drawing my magic lines. What exactly are the magic lines? These are the recent swing highs, lows, and breakout areas. And they act as liquidity areas. This is where most amateur traders put their stop losses, and this is also where stop hunting happens, and we want to use that information to place our trades with institutional traders. So how do we mark these zones? Whenever you open your chart, I want you to look to the left and ask yourself where is the recent and most important swing high on the 1-hour chart. And as we can see, this right here is an important high because it was tested twice, which is why I'm going to draw a line just like that. Then next you want to look down and ask yourself the same question. Where is the recent most important low on the chart? And as we can see right here, there is a low which was tested 3 times. So this is how I'm drawing the magic lines. Now that we have that, the next thing we want to do is wait. What we're waiting for is the price to reach either the upper line or the lower line. If the price reaches the lower line, I want to be looking to buy, because this is where most likely a lot of stop orders are sitting, and institutional traders most likely are going to step in and reverse the price. In other words, this is the area where the biggest and most committed buyers are placing their buy orders. On the other hand, if the price reaches the upper line, I want to be looking to sell, because this is where amateur traders are chasing breakouts, stop losses are sitting, and big institutional traders know that big sellers most likely will step in and reverse the price to the downside. If the price is in the middle, I do nothing, because the middle represents nothing, just chop and randomness. So now that we know the rules, what we want to do next is switch to the 15-minute chart and wait for something very specific before we enter a trade. And by the way, I get tons of questions on what to do if the price breaks out of these lines and if we're in a trending market. And I'm going to walk you in a moment through a few examples so that you know what to do exactly in these situations as well. Now that we're on the 15-minute chart, I want to see something very specific. Take a look at this. The price went straight to the lower line that we drew. And not only that, but we see 3 red candlesticks in a row straight through that line. I call this the sucker move, which is normally somewhere between 3 to 5 emotional candles straight into one of our lines. And what this move does is one thing. It stops new traders out, because most of them are placing their stop losses here, and it scares them. And this is exactly why we want to be looking to buy here. But before I buy, I want to see one green candlestick first, aka our pitchfork. Now we have our green candlestick, and this is perfect, because this green candlestick shows me 2 things. The selling is most likely over, and buyers are stepping in ready to reverse the price. So the entry happens as soon as the next candlestick starts to go above the high of our first green candlestick, and the stop loss can be placed slightly below. I call this exact pattern the pitchfork. Now, I just place a trade right here so that you see how everything looks like. And in this case, as you can see, the stop loss can be placed slightly below, and the take profit in our target is the upper line. Why? Because most likely the price is going to test that line as well one more time, and most likely sellers might step back around this area, so we want to be taking profits there. Now, our take profit was hit, but take a look at this. Now we have the exact same pattern at the upper line. We have 6 green candlesticks in a row straight into the upper magic line. And this is where most likely amateur traders are chasing breakouts, and institutional sellers might step in to reverse the price. This is our emotional move, and we have also 1 red candlestick. And this is a valid setup. The entry would happen as soon as the price starts taking the low of this red candlestick, and the stop loss can be placed slightly above. And in this case, the target is the lower line. Now let's replay and see what happens. As you can see, the price immediately reversed to the downside and hit our take profit again. A few moments later, the price broke through that low. And now here's our $1 million question. What happens if the price breaks out of these zones? And what happens if we're in a trending market? And I'm going to walk you through these 2 questions, because these are 2 different examples, and I'm going to show you how I personally handle situations like that. So a lot of times when we break out of the range, the reason for that is that there is not enough liquidity around this area, which is why most likely the next possible low will be tested. And what I like doing in cases like that is going back to the 1-hour chart and marking the next possible low. And so as we can see right here, this is the next pivotal low, which is why I'm going to mark that. Now let's replay and see if the price reverses there. Take a look at this. The price didn't quite test this low, but stopped slightly before and made a huge wick here on the 1-hour chart, indicating there are buyers stepping in, ready to flip the price. So to summarize, just zoom out and ask yourself, is there another next low which can act as another possible liquidity area? Now let's move on to the next question. What happens if we're in a trending market? Does that strategy work? And so take a look at this. Eventually, the price broke out of this range and we see a lot of momentum on the green candles. We also see higher highs, higher lows. So in that situation, we want to wait for a new structure to form and we want to trade in the trend direction. We don't want to be fighting the trend. Right now, there is no new structure, therefore nothing to do. A few moments later, we see here a new low forming, acting as a new support and liquidity area, which is why I'm drawing my magic line as well. I'm going to use now this area for potential longs. And as we can see, this was a very nice liquidity area to use for a potential entry using the 15-minute chart for a confirmation. Now, I want to share with you a trade that I personally took on a Sunday using this exact same area. Now, on Sunday evening, the futures market opened with a gap down straight into our magic line and liquidity area that was tested a few times the week before. So what I like doing in this case is switching to the 15-minute chart and waiting for my pitchfork candlestick formation. We are now on the 15-minute chart and we have one green candle, but the price never went above it. Instead, we have another red candle. So in this case, there is no signal and nothing to do. A few moments later, we have finally one green candlestick and the next candlestick going above the high of that green candlestick, our pitchfork. So I just placed a trade to demonstrate to you how everything looks like in detail. And so the stop loss can be placed slightly below and the take profit in this case can be around the gap fill. Now let's replay and see what happens. The market started taking off immediately, and what I like doing in a case like that is moving my stop loss toward break even, because this is how I'm out of the risk and I do not have to worry about this trade anymore. Another thing that I like doing also is taking partial profits and paying myself along the way. Now that I took some partial profits, I can move even further my stop loss, and this is how I personally like trailing this stop, and I don't have to worry about this trade regardless if I get stopped out or not. I'm out of this trade for profits. Now I hope that answers the question what to do if we break out of the range and if this strategy is valid in a trending market. And if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Try to simplify everything. Less is more. Mark your zones, wait for the structure, wait for your confirmation, and ignore everything else. This alone is going to put you ahead of most traders. Now, if you want to trade live with us, we trade live on Zoom every day. I'm going to put the link just in the description below. Or if you want to have our game plan each week with the exact zones, we're mapping out them each week and I send that per email. I'm going to put the link in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you back here on our channel again. Bye for now.